So in this video I'll be going over some fade lineups on Split in Valorant, just talking about her haunt ability mostly. I'll be going on the A side first, attack then defense, as well as mid, attack then defense, and lastly B side, attack and defense. I do want to mention now, I think Fade's best side on Split is the A side, so if this video seems almost like A heavy, just in the sense that most of the lineups and stuff, or more of them at least, are on A side, that is going to be why. But nonetheless, let's hop straight into these lineups. One thing I see a lot of Fades do is just running jump off this box right here and try and get into this crown, which is good, but there is a more consistent spot that you can do it from, which is going to be down here. And there are also 2 more lineups you can do for a total of 3 lineups in the exact same spot. So you're just in this main area right here. You want to line yourself up with this first step, come here, and then to get it in the crown, you want to aim for the bottom left part of the sign, just a little bit above that, jump and throw. You can see here, it gets in the crown, and it clears the exact same angles, gets it in the exact same spot. It's just more consistent than running and jumping, because you'll never really be able to just like run and jump off the exact same spot. Also from the same spot, again, come onto this first step, line up with it. You want to aim for the gray corner a little bit. Okay, I can't even ping it, but that gray corner, like right there where I'm aiming, you can see it. So line up here, aim at that gray corner, just do a normal throw, and you can see here it'll aim, or sorry, it'll land right on the edge there. It'll ping anywhere under here and here. So that was just an example, because that's basically one of the hardest angles to clear with Fade's Haunt, I feel like. But if you stand right here, aim at that gray corner and then throw it, you can see here it'll clear up here. And if we go to where this was, you can see as well, it'll clear along this entire area backside. And the only part it can't see is like down here and here, which are 2 of the first things you'll see as you go into the site. And the third one is probably the worst of the 3 from this spot, but you can do it. Stand in this corner, aim at the top of the green leaves, jump and throw, and it'll get it all the way over here, which isn't bad. It's just you can get onto this corner with a different lineup, which I'll show you now. But there's another one you can keep in mind if you just like remembering a lot of different lineups in the same spot. Stand here, aim at the top corner of these green leaves, jump and throw, and you will see it goes very nicely there. But for an alternative lineup that goes to even a better spot, for the next one, you do have to have control of the A main area. So maybe you smoke off this, or you have someone going up ramps. You need to use this before your team goes out onto the site though, because it's going to be especially useful for clearing out these close left areas. So you'll see, come into this corner back here, there's that little white dot right next to my ping there. So you can see this like white triangle right here, looks like a dot from far away. So you want to be aiming to the right of this, where the dark gray and the white meet. So I'll come back here and you can see what I'm talking about. Next to the white dot, where the gray and the white are meeting, jump then throw, and it lands very, very consistently, perfectly on this corner. Even if someone's crouching behind that box right there, it'll clear them. It clears all of under, clears all of rafters, some of heaven. It'll clear people peeking screens. It'll clear people peeking elbow. It'll clear some of side as well. This one's not the best for clearing side, because obviously they can hide behind there. They can hide behind there, and they can be an elbow, but it is insanely good for clearing these closer angles right here, especially this one, probably the best one to clear there. Those are most of the ones I've got for attacking the A site, because once you get past this point, there's not really much you need lineups for. If you want to clear elbow, you can just throw it into elbow, and you can also see there is a gap in between these right here, so you can throw it through there as well if you want to get some insight onto back down here in elbow, as well as this back area here. Now let's talk some post-plant attacking side for A. So you've got the spike down, you want to know what's going on. One thing you can do is actually really easily throw it into the defender spawn. Really just throw it right over the top of this, and you can see it'll clear out all of this area and all of here. There's not a lineup for this. Literally just stand anywhere in this area, aim above this and below this, like anywhere in here, jump and throw, and you can see it goes straight in here, and it'll clear out both of these areas very, very easily. Same thing with heaven. There's not really a lineup for anything per se. If you don't want to get it pretty deep in heaven consistently, you can stand here and aim along the bottom of this dark gray area, then just jump and throw, and that's about as far back as you can get it from on site. But again, these aren't really places you need lineups for, but they're still useful to throw your haunt to get information about where the defenders are going to be coming in from. 2 useful ones for post plant on attacking side once the defenders are pushing out are going to be from this corner, so you're playing in here. One that you can do is aim at that corner of the crown, aim and throw, You can see there, it'll go up there. And what it'll do from up here is it'll clear, it's really good at clearing above you, so in heaven, as well as when people are pushing out of screens and if people are pushing out onto side. And then if you can already hear them pushing onto side or pushing onto elbow, you can aim right at this line. I can't ping it, but you can see like these two diagonal lines come down where they meet, aim there, and then it'll land on top of this box right here, clearing basically the entirety of the side as they push out, and it will still clear some of rafters. So you can use either of those from post plant. The first one, aiming at that corner of the crown, and for this one, aiming at that line right there. When it comes to defending on the A site, one of my favorites is to get it on top of this sign right here. And all you're going to have to do is just come line yourself up here on heaven, and now you can see you're sort of in line with this sign. Just aim towards the top of the sign, jump and throw. You can see it gets right on top here, and this will give you information about people going up ramps, people in this entire area down here, a ping down there, a pings out here. Really good one, and you don't even have to use it right at the start of the round. You can use it a little bit later into the round, and you'll see people like going out on ramp and stuff. If you want to get it into the same spot by playing on site instead of on heaven, come to this corner on site right here. It doesn't have to be exact, but pretty much on this corner, like where these two different lines meet right here. And then you want to be aiming for where this white part meets this gray part right here. Jump and throw, and you can see it will also get on top of the sign. Gives you that exact same information. That's just for being on site rather than in heaven. Apart from those two, I don't really use too many lineups on defense. Post plan and retaking though, I do, which I'll go over shortly. But in general, if you want to get early information, just jump off heaven, throw it over the top, and you will get this early information about what is going on in this area of the map. Now retaking the A site, so you're a defender, the attackers have already planted the spike on A and are heading over to defuse it. One thing you can do, stand on this light right around here. Then you want to, you can see I'll put it up on screen. You want to line up this part of your HUD with the A, like so to the line in between your Prowler and C's ability. Line it up with the A very nicely, then just do a normal throw, and it'll land right down here. So it'll clear elbow, and it'll clear all along here as well as obviously all these areas is anywhere in line of sight of me basically. So if people are playing up on rafters, people playing there, anywhere close holding screens, this one will clear really well. More often than not, I prefer to just throw them from heaven. One that I like to do is a running one, so it can be a little bit inconsistent, but you want to be aiming to throw it once you reach the start of the arrow, and you're going to be aiming at the bottom of the K. So you can see here, throwing it around there, it sobs right here, and then it'll clear there, it'll clear there, it'll clear there, so it'll clear most of hell for you. It'll clear backside really well. This one's really good for clearing backside because it'll clear back here as well as behind here and behind here. Three of the more common places for people to play on site. You can also really easily get it on top of that box on site just by aiming even a little bit below it and running out when you hit the doorway. Very easy to do, and you can see this one's going to give you a lot of information. It is pretty easy to shoot because it's really just right in the middle of sight, but aim a little bit below it, and then as you hit this doorway, that's when you want to throw it. Pretty easy to do that one. And then otherwise, when you want to get more information about like a main and stuff, maybe if there's a Brimstone or a Viper playing for lineups or something, just use those same defending lineups as showed you before. So come line up with this, aim at the top of the sign, jump then throw. Then you can see you'll still get that information about someone playing for lineup, someone going up ramps and stuff like that. I'll move on over to mid now, and you'll see there aren't too many lineups on either side, but I do want to mention while I'm here that from mid you can get a haunt into both the attacker and defender spawn, and from both spawns you can get them into mid. But I'll show you the spots I like to throw them from. If you're looking at attacker spawn first into mid, if you stand on this little like spot of like where the paint's missing, right around here, put the bottom right part of your HUD right into this corner of the K logo. I'll zoom into it there so you can see that should look like that. Then do a jumping through, and you can see it'll go right up here in mid. So this can be useful to get some information. You can see it'll clear all of up there as well. Let's say you're rotating, you push A to the side of the round, now you're going B instead, and then you can just quickly stop right here. This one doesn't have to be exact whatsoever. That's just a lineup if you need the help with it. You just stop like right here, aim around there, jump and then throw. You can see that one, it looks like I missed, but it still gets that same information. It still clears top mid, it'll still clear people pushing into market. And if you've got it off cooldown, it's really easy to just throw it in mid and get some really easy information. And yeah, same thing goes from mid to the attacker spawn, literally just anywhere around here, and you just want to be making sure you don't hit that roof. It is so simple. Literally just do a running through and don't hit that roof. Anywhere to the left of that, we'll get it back here, and it'll catch people off rotating. If you think they're rotating, you can just throw it in there from mid. Doesn't have to be that close either. You can be on top of this ledge as well. You just have to aim a little bit lower, like around about this level on the left, like right here. Jump and throw, and then it'll easily go back here and clear anyone rotating through the attacker spawn. Same thing is true for the defender spawn. Obviously, these ones are only going to be really useful later in the round when you're pretty confident that there's no one in mid. So you're pretty safe just be roaming around in here. This one, again, it's going to be simple as throwing it over the roof. You can see just like that. And it'll clear defender spawn. Same thing from the defender spawn. You want to be making sure you just get it in this gap right here. Jump and throw. And then it's going to go straight over the top. There is a lot of elevation that you can get it on, especially on the defending side. If I'm playing from vents, what I like to do right at the start of the round is just do a little run, not even jump, and then just aim right around here like this lantern, a little bit to the right of that. Just run around as I reach the end of the doorway. It'll go somewhere around here, and you just get information. Someone might shoot it from market, someone might shoot it from sewers. You can see you get this easy information about mid, and then sometimes, I don't know why I didn't that time to be honest, but I'll find it pretty consistently. It will land on top of here as well. Again, it didn't that time, but it can land up here, which goes a little bit deeper in like back there in market. And yeah, that one will catch people off guard. But then playing from B heaven towards mid is where it gets really good, because what you can do is throw it into that same spot we did from the attacker spawn, and it'll get up here. No lineup even needed for this one. You literally just throw it up, like use this as a guideline, the bottom of this red like tower thing. Aim anywhere along there, probably towards the left corner. If you're having trouble with it, just throw it towards that left corner, and you can see it then goes right up here. And it might look like it gets stuck in all this, but you can see this one's really good for clearing these close angles in mid, as well as it would still give you all that information about anyone coming out of market. That's what I like to do, defending from mid and then attacking from mid. There is literally nothing. You can see, even if you try and get it higher up somewhere, like let's say you manage to get it up there, then that tells you nothing. It tells you what you can already see in vents, and it tells you the bare minimum about male. You're better off just clearing one of these angles, or not even using your horn to clear these. You'd probably want to use your prowler instead. Okay, that didn't work because there was a sage right there. But pretend you use it from back here. Throw it in here, clear left, clear right. Okay, now vents is clear. Or throw it up male, clear the right, clear that left part, clear the right again. You can get more information with your prowler than your horn, I find, when pushing both vents and male through mid. Moving on to B side, obviously we're going to be attacking first. When you can do stand in this corner of these boxes, like so. Aim where I'm aiming right here on this like wire or this pipe going through. That around the pipe, you want to aim to the left of that. So again, standing here, aim just to the left of that, jump, then throw, and it'll land up here, which will give you information about anyone that's peeking on heaven or anyone that's out on rafters, as well as this pretty common angle right here. The only bad thing about this one, I think, is that it just won't clear under there, and it also won't clear the closest, like close area to there. So what you can do for this, which is more likely to get shot but will give you the most information, is if you literally just run and throw from anywhere in this area. Just you want to be jumping from roughly around this line. This one's very like easy, just in the sense of there's not much to line up with, and it's very forgiving. Just jump around there, be aiming around there, and then throw when you get like running through, of course, and then it'll land down here, clearing out these left angles. And if you want to be clearing out these, then you just want to be starting a little bit more to the left and aiming a little bit more to the right. So you'll be starting more like here and aiming more like there. So let's try this one, jump and throw. You can see it very easily goes back here. Even though it looks like it goes a little bit to the left here, you can see the corner of it still clears out here. We'll still clear all there. We'll still clear back here, and we'll still also clear anyone peeking heaven. B main's pretty hard to actually get any lineups or anything out of because it is all enclosed and there's nothing to throw it through. One that you can do when you're pushing out, if you want to clear backside, is come to this corner right here and aim at that back corner of the roof right there. It is not 1,000 meters away. You can see this pink building, and then right where I'm aiming on the corner of it, just throw, and it'll land back here and backside, as well as clearing this sort of area and some of rafters as well. Like I was saying though, once you're in this B main area, there's not too much to line up with. You can get it on top of this back area, like above heaven almost, pretty easily from B main. This one's going to be situational though, because obviously you're going to have some sort of smoke up on top of heaven, maybe the sage wall up here or something. This one doesn't require much lining up necessarily. You're going to be aiming roughly along the bottom of this windowsill, and you want to do a running jump starting from this back wall. Pretty short run up, like no run up even. Just do a running jump. So you might want to practice this one in a custom a few times just to get the hang of it. And then once you realize what you have to do, it is very, very easy because it's almost the perfect range to the point where nearly as soon as it hits the wall, it'll just drop down. So you can see here, just aiming roughly along the bottom of this window area, jump, run, throw. It'll land along this back area, and you can see from here, it clears all of these, like these two key angles, which I think are really important to clear when you're attacking. It clears both of those out really easily. Post plant with attack, especially if you've just planted, here are two really, really good ones. So let's just pretend you've just planted the spike and you think there might be some on rafters. This is especially good if you're in like a clutch situation, 1v1, 1v2, whatever's going on. If you're the last one alive, crouch in this corner. This little part of the box right here, where like this line meets here, is roughly where you want to put this bottom right part of your HUD. So you can see I'm zooming to it there. It's going to look like that. Then just do a normal throw while you're crouching, keep that in mind, and then it will land perfectly up here. And then right as this pops up here, you'll get the information about anyone out on rafters, anyone that's dropped down, anyone peeking heaven, which you can use that information to then swing out or fall back, anything like that. And then a similar one, if you do use that too many times, it's getting too predictable. Again, crouching this area, whoops, like right here. I'm very, very close to it. But you'll see when this ping goes away, there's a little bit of a difference between like this line along here. You want to aim into that corner of it, do a normal throw, it'll bounce back in there, and you will get really, really good information. This one's especially good if you know they're still in heaven, because it'll clear all of rafters and go really, really deep into heaven as well. So if you hear them stomping around on rafters and stuff, and you're still in this corner after planting the spike, throw it into that corner, and then it'll pop. And then you could use that to swing out and shoot them on rafters. Another one for post planning attack on B site. This one I don't really like that much because it can be really inconsistent and the information it gives isn't insane. But if you want to clear the alley area, you can come into this corner of back site, aim up this part of your HUD on the bottom right corner of this thing, so you can see you want to aim that like so. Then you want to do a running jump, except you need to run for a little bit. It's really weird to do. So I just have to base it off the timing I have here. And then sometimes it'll like bounce off this tree or go past this tree and go here. Once you get the hang of this one, it doesn't become too inconsistent, but it's not one of my favorites. However, if you need one to clear alley from backside, that one is going to work pretty well. When it comes to defending on B site, there is one really, really broken one. I think it's actually like a bug or an exploit. So if you're watching this a few weeks after I upload, it's a fair chance this one has already been patched, because you can see if you throw it right here or right here, it just like lands on the ground and rises up normally. But for whatever reason, if it lands across here, it goes through the roof, and then it will actually clear, as you can see, a lot of this B main area, as well as out into some of lobby. And a lineup for this one, if you're on rafters, stand on these little bolts on the side right here, aim at the bottom right corner of this green sign, do a normal throw, it'll go there, and then it'll clear out a lot of B main, like you can see. Alternatively, of course, you can do a running jump and just throw it deep into B main, aiming in the same sort of gap between here. Just do a jump and throw, and it'll go way through here, and you get information deeper about B main. Maybe if it's like 20-30 seconds into the round, you heard some sounds here, there were smokes, but now you're not sure if they're pushing or not. You can use either the ones I just showed, either the one that goes in that roof, or if you don't want that one or that one's been patched, just do a running jump through here. It'll go deep out here and let you know what's going on outside B. Same sort of thing as attacking through B main, defending into B main, especially with a haunt. There's no other real lineups because the entire thing is literally just enclosed. One I do like for both like early into the round as they're coming onto side, and also for post plant, is if you use the top of this roof as a reference in line at the top of this building, and as long as you're aiming above this box as well, it'll land back here. It's good for post plant when you want to clear out backside, you want to clear out back here, and you want to clear out main. And obviously it's also good as they're pushing onto side, maybe they put a sage wall up, you can catch them off guard with this one. And if you've got a teammate playing here, just good for a few with a shotgun or something, this can be really good because they'll all get distracted by this trying to shoot it, and then they can swing at it and kill them. And then of course same thing as A when it comes to lineups or clearing out like B main post plan or whatever. Just do the exact same lineups for defending B at the start of the rounds, because it'll still give you that exact same information about what's going on inside B main and what's happening outside B lobby. Those are really all the lineups I've got for split. Again, I think A is Fade's strongest side. There's a few different good lineups you can get on A, obviously especially from this spot, and there's a really strong one from back here as well. And defending is really good to get on top of this sign, and just in general throwing it over the top. A just works really good for Fade in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think though. I think A or B is better for Fade. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you guys have any more questions about any of the lineups or anything, comment down below. I'll do my best to get back to that. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.